Hey you guys, welcome back. If you're new here, hello. My name is Brittany and today we're going to be doing a declutter on this drawer right here. These are all of my blushes in my collection. So it's going to be cream blushes, powder blushes, and I think that's it. So you guys saw that I did a declutter on my eyeshadow palettes and freaking loved it. That's my most viewed video on my channel right now. And I got rid of over half of my eyeshadow palette. So we're going to see how many of my blushes I can get rid of today. If you guys like declutter videos, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel before you guys leave, and let's just jump right in and let's do this! Okay, so the first one up I know I'm going to get rid of because I never ever use this. This is the Real Her Be Fearless, Be Limitless Blush Kit. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. I got this in one of my BoxyCharm and these just aren't my favorite formula. They're really chalky feeling and these have a lot of glitter in them, so I don't really love glitter blushes that much because I do have texture on my cheeks, so I am going to get rid of this because I just never wear it. And another thing that I wanted to mention, I know on my last declutter everybody was like, oh, can you send me your used makeup and stuff? Like, I don't do that. Depending on the condition of some of this makeup, a lot of it I end up throwing out because a lot of it is extremely old. With powders, they're a lot easier to like give away and stuff like that because powders don't expire like foundations and stuff would. But I just wanted to let you guys know I'm not going to send you guys any of my used makeup. I got a ton of comments on my last one, so I just wanted to address that really quick. So the next one is going to be the e.l.f. blush palette. This is in the shade Deep, I think. But this is such a good blush palette for the drugstore. I love this, so this is not going anywhere because I do want to keep this, not just because it's a good palette, but because it's a good drugstore option. By the way, if my mirrors showcase any of this stuff down here, don't judge me because my room's a hot-ass mess right now. So the next one is going to be the Pure Bronze and Brighten Blush and Contour and Highlight Palette. I don't love this. This reminds me, I think, of what the new Cover FX one would look like. I just don't really love the formula. I got this in one of my BoxyCharms. I don't know if I just said that or not. I've used it, I think, once, and I was just kind of like, okay, it's nice. I really like the shade of this blush. Like, these blushes just give me life. And, I don't know, I just didn't really love it. I felt like it was a little bit more difficult to work with, and it just, I don't know, I just didn't really love it. So, I am going to pass this on. So, that makes two that we're passing on and one we're keeping. So, these next two, I don't think I know I've used this one, but I don't think I've ever even touched this one. These are the Kat Von D Shade and Light blushes. I know you can't get these anymore, so I'm not going to keep these because I don't want to use them on my channel or anything like that because I know you guys are probably going to get pissed if I use them and love them and you guys can't get them anymore. I ended up getting these for like half price at Marshall, so that's the only reason that I picked them up. So, I don't know, like, I love the idea of these, but the fact that they're discontinued, like, these are like brand freaking new. So I am going to pass on both of these just because I can't use them anymore. That's one thing that I'm like focusing on my collection with now is if I can use them on my channel because I don't want to use products that you guys can't get. So the next two are going to be the Physicians Formula Butter Blushes. These are so freaking good, you guys. Like, these are such good blushes for the drugstore. This one I use the shit out of when I'm lighter, but this is the one I've been using more since I've been darker. I just love the formula of these. They smell so freaking good, so I am going to keep both of these ones because that is an amazing drugstore option for a blush. Next one is going to be the Pretty Vulgar, what is this, the Make Them Blush, and this is in the shade Hush Blush 18. I really do like this. It's a little bit more powdery than I would typically go for. Like you can see, it is pretty messy. But I love the shade on this. I did get this in a BoxyCharm, so I really love the packaging as well. So I am going to hang on to this one because I haven't really had it that long. And then another one I got from BoxyCharm. This was a Luminous Loose Blush. I don't even know. Oh yeah, it's from Studio Makeup. I was going to say, I don't even know what brand it's from. This is so freaking beautiful. I didn't think I was going to like this because it is a loose powder, but this is such a beautiful, just loose powder blush. It's a little bit more difficult to work with as far as like being precise, but if you use a really light hand with it, like the shade on this is so beautiful. So I am going to keep this just because it's something different for me. So we're going to put that in my keep pile. And then this blush, I don't know where this is from. Model Co. Cosmetics. This is the blush cheek powder in the shade Cosmopolitan. This was given to me, but I am going to pass this on because I never really reach for it. It's just like a nice little baby pink blush, but I, again, never reach for it. I'm not like obsessed with the formula or anything like that, so I'm going to pass this one on. And then we have the Balm Frat Boy. This I never ever use, but it's a really beautiful blush. I need to reach for this more. This is going to kind of be like a refining my collection. So this blush is one that I definitely need to reach for more. I feel like I'm going to use this more when I'm lighter because it is a like light pinky peach blush. So I'm going to hang on to this and hope that I use it because you can still get it, so I will keep it for that reason. And just because I don't really use it that much. So the next one is going to be this NARS blush in the shade Goulet. I got this as like a sample at Sephora, I think it was. I think it was like a birthday gift or something like that. Such a beautiful blush. I really love NARS products, so I'm going to hang on to this. I do want to get like full sizes of the NARS blushes, but I mean, for the amount that you get in this little trial size, like I never like hit pan on blushes, so I don't know why I'm so obsessed with like getting full sizes of products when this will do enough for me. So I am going to hang on to this because I do think it is beautiful. And then we have the Balm Cindy Luminizer. I bought this when I bought the Mary Luminizer, and there was another one, like the bronzer shade. But I got this one, and I just never really use it. I feel like I'm going to pass this on just because I don't ever use it. And I don't know, I don't really love like super luminous blushes. Like I love like the Becca luminous blushes because I don't feel like they're too over the top, whereas this one's more like a highlighter. So if I were to put this on my cheeks, it's going to really accent my texture and my pores. So I am going to pass this one on. It's a really beautiful product. It's just, it doesn't really work for what I need it for, and I just never really reach for it. And then we have two cream blushes. I'm like losing track of what I'm saying. I have to work tonight, so throw me a freaking bone if I'm talking like I'm crazy. So this is the Pure Cheek Stain. I'm not going to take it out of the package. I just kept this because I was like hoping that I would reach for it, and I just don't. So I am going to pass this on. I don't think I've ever even touched it, so I'm going to just keep it just like that. And then the next one I have is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Blush in the shade, what shade is this? Floral Majority. These are probably the only ones that I would repurchase again just because the price is so right on them, and it's not a product that I use a ton. I just don't really love the formula. I don't feel like they blend out super easy. I just more think I'll like a cream blush that's in a pan where I can dip my beauty blender in it, almost like the Natasha Denona ones. I feel like those are more of up my alley. I don't love the fact that I would have to like apply this onto a blender. I don't know, I guess you can, but I don't know. I just don't really love cream blushes, so I'm going to pass this on. That was like a really long way of saying that I'm going to get rid of that. So the next ones up are going to be these Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Blushes. I have the shade Fetish, Raptor, Video, and Score. So this is the shade Fetish. This is probably the one that I use the most. This shade is Rapture. This actually might be one that I pass on because I never really reach for this. Actually, no. I'm going to wait till after fall. If I don't reach for this in the fall, then I will pass it on. But I feel like for fall, I'll really like this one. So this is the shade Rapture. I lied. This is the one that I use the most. This is the shade Video. This is just a really beautiful, like, all the time type of blush for me. Love blushes like this. So this will be the shade Score. I don't use this one as much because it does have a little bit of luminosity and glitter in it. So I don't use it all the time, but I feel like for right now, I would probably use this for summertime. So I am going to hang on to all these because I really do like these. But the one that I'm looking at the most to see if I use it is the shade Rapture. So if I don't use this in the fall time, I will pass this on after that, but I'll probably end up doing a declutter after fall because I don't even want to know how much makeup I'm probably going to have in my collection at that time. So those are all of my Urban Decay blushes that I'm going to hang on to. Okay, so the next ones are going to be these Too Faced Love Blush blushes. These are some of my favorite blushes. I actually have, we're just going to get to this now because you'll be able to see all the shades in this one. Okay, maybe not because I don't know where it is. Hold on. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you for these Love Flush blushes. You can't get this anymore, but I keep this in my freelance kit because it is all of the same blushes. It's just like a wardrobe of all of them. So this is what all of the blushes look like. Like I said, these are some of my favorite blushes, so I'm not going to get rid of any of these. My favorites are Love Hangover and Baby Love. Those are my two that I use the most, like I'm about to hit pan on this one. I just feel like it works for so many different skin tones, and these are just the type of blushes that I always go for as colors like this. But I love this because it's like, you could use this all year round, so it's really ideal for freelancing as well. But I bought all of these at the Ulta. They had like them all on sale. I don't know if it was 21 Days of Beauty or not, but they had these all on sale for $13, and they usually retail for $30 or $26, I think. So I'm going to keep all of them, but Baby Love is definitely my favorite. It's going to be this one here. I love the packaging on these as well. They're just so beautiful. They look like little candy sweethearts. I'll pull one out just so you guys can see what it looks like. I'm sure you guys have all seen them by now, but this is what the packaging looks like, so I love the packaging on them. So that's another reason I really want to keep them, because I think it's so freaking cute. So these are all going to hang out with me, and then my blush wardrobe, this is also going to hang out in my freelance kit just in case I need it. I don't freelance as much anymore, but I still do occasionally. So let's move on to these Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten blushes, I guess you could say. I got these in my last Ulta 21 Days of Beauty haul. I actually really like these. Sunswept is a little bit dark, but when you apply it on your cheeks, it doesn't look as dark as it does in the pan. So let me get this one out really quick. This is the one I always see at Katie talk about. I love the marble effect that's on these. I think they are really beautiful. I just go in with a really light hand because these do have a luminosity to them and they do have that shimmer, so they do accent my texture. So I try not to focus this on the apples of my cheeks like I do with all of my other blushes, but I just love these for summertime. This is in the shade Tropic Hues as well, and this one I love equally as much as Sunswept. I think I've used Sunswept a little bit more, but I just love the marble effect. I love the luminous flush that it gives my skin. But like I said, I don't focus them on the apples of my cheeks like I typically would, just because they will accent and emphasize the texture that's on my skin. So I have been really liking these. So there's a little update from my 21 Days of Beauty haul, so we are going to hang on to those. And then we have our Benefit blushes. So I have California and Dallas. Dallas is not one that I thought I would really like, but I actually did end up really liking this one. This one does look a lot like a bronzer when you look at it in the pan, but on the cheeks it just gives you a really nice natural looking blush, but it's not my favorite. Like, these aren't my favorite formulas for blushes, but I really like the shade of this one. This is California. I really love the shade on this. When you first get it, it does have like a gold, like metallic dusting over the top, but it does come right off. Like, it doesn't have it in throughout the product. So I do really like the shade of this, but these aren't my favorite formula, but I am going to hang on to them because I'm hoping that one day I do collect all of these. It's just like these go on sale at Macy's all the time for like 13 bucks or half the price or something like that. So that's when I typically buy these. So I was really excited for the Gold Dust one, but I swatched it in store. I'm like, there's no way that's going to work for me. It's way too light. So for now, I'm going to hang on to these because I do really like them. And then we'll move on to one of my favorite blushes in my collection. Like, Hourglass is one of the most consistent brands, and they're just one of my favorite brands that I've come across in the entire like beauty industry. So this is the Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Luminous Flush. I freaking love this blush. It's so flattering. It gives you that luminosity, but it doesn't emphasize your texture. So that's one thing that I really love about Hourglass products, is because they just make your skin look so beautiful and natural. And this is a really natural looking blush. It's not over the top or anything like that. They have so many shades of this. I think they have like 6 or 7, so not so many. I'm kind of exaggerating when I say that, but this is one of my favorite blushes in my collection, so I'm definitely not getting rid of this. You guys saw me haul this in my recent Sephora, what the hell was it? My VIB sale haul, I think it was, where I got this. So I'm definitely hanging on to this because I haven't had it that long. And then we'll move on to, this is probably like my most used blushes right here, besides that Hourglass one now. So, actually I shouldn't say that. Like, these right here are my most used blushes, but we'll start with these Tarte blushes. I think I'm going to pass these on because I never use them. I got these in like one of the Tarte holiday collections. I'm just going to pass these on because I never reach for them, like I said, but Tarte does have some of the best formula for longevity for blushes. So like, yeah, like this one I've never even touched. I think I just don't reach for these because I don't think they have these individually. I think these are all limited edition shades. Don't be fooled by the fact that I'm getting rid of them because of the formula, because the formula of them is bomb, especially if you need like an all day looking blush. Like this one I really love for summer, but I just don't ever reach for these, so I'm going to pass these ones on. And then this one I'm definitely going to keep because I really do love this blush. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush, I think they're called. Their 12-hour blush in the shade Blushing Bride. This was like the only blush that I used for weddings for the longest time, and on myself. These last all day long. Like 12-hour wear is so accurate for these. Like if you need just a long wearing blush, these are the ones that I would highly recommend. But if you want just blushes that last a long time, but look so freaking beautiful on the skin. Like, these are my favorite blushes that I have, are these Becca, either the luminous blushes or their mineral blushes. They are all so beautiful. This is the one I use probably the most. This is Songbird, so this is a mineral blush in the shade Songbird. And this one's going to be a luminous blush, I believe, in the shade Camellia, or Camilla. I don't know if they discontinued these or not, because I know they were on sale recently. This is the shade Flower Child. Like, Songbird and Flower Child are my bitches. I use the shit out of these. Like, if you're ever wondering what's on my cheeks, most of the time it's going to be Songbird. This is another luminous blush in the shade Foxglove. This looks really intense in the pan, but it looks so beautiful on the skin. I would highly recommend all of these. And then this is going to be the shade Snapdragon in the luminous blush. This is another one. It's freaking gorgeous. This is my favorite of the luminous blushes. Songbird is going to be my favorite of the mineral. So I would highly recommend all of these. These are my favorite blush formula besides the Hourglass one, but they're very different. So I would highly recommend both of these. So I'm going to keep all of those because they're my faves. And then I do have the split pans as well from the Champagne Pop collection with Jaclyn Hill. I'm keeping all of those. I never really use them, but they don't make them anymore anyway, so I'm not going to really talk about them. So this is the unique Moodstruck powder blush in the shade Supported. I don't know if you can get this shade individually. I got this in like a Kudos when I bought a bunch of shit from them when I did my unique review. So I would highly recommend this. I think these are beautiful blushes. They are very, very pigmented, so use a very light hand. This shade in particular reminds me so much of the NARS Orgasm blush. They're roughly the same price range, so if you're not a fan of this company, I know a lot of people aren't, but I have friends that work for them, so I like to support them with that. So I would highly recommend this though. I think it is a really beautiful blush. It's one of my favorites in my collection. And then we have some MAC blushes. I actually haven't used this one at all. I got this one gifted to me. This is the Stay Pretty Pro Longwear blush. I love the formula of these, so I'm going to hang on to it. I just haven't really used this shade a ton. Actually, at all. Like, I could tell by looking at it. I haven't even touched it. So I'm going to hang on to it for now to hope that I use it. I'm actually going to keep it right on the side. And then this is the one that I use the most out of the MAC blushes. This is the mineral blush in the shade Warm Soul. This is the one I used the other day. This, I've heard so much hype over this goddamn blush, and I think it's pretty. I'm only keeping it because I know you could still get it, and I spent like $30 on this blush. I don't think it's worth it though. Like, it gives you a nice look to your cheeks, but it's not groundbreaking. I would recommend the Hourglass ones or the Becca ones way more over this one, so I would pass on it. If I were to buy it again, I wouldn't have bought it, but I'm going to use it and keep it because I spent a shit ton of money on a freaking blush. And this is one of the limited edition blushes in the shade Crisp White. This is a powder blush, so this is a different formula than the other one. I don't ever use this because you can't get it anymore. I love the packaging on this. Like, I wish MAC did like specialty packaging all the time because they always kill it. But I think I'm going to pass this one on because I just haven't reached for it since I've gotten it. So we're going to put that in our pass pile, and that'll be it for this little basket here. And then we'll move all of these up. So we have this BH Cosmetics Glamorous Blush 10 color blush palette. This was the first blush that I ever got. I'm sorry my camera's like not focusing on anything it's supposed to right now. So I initially got this for my freelance kit, and it is perfect for that. It's a really wide range of colors. You can use it on a ton of different skin tones, and I always mix them. But the formula on this is not the best. This is more of like, if you need a really good starter blush kit, this is the one I would go for. But there are other ones now that I've used more in my collection I would recommend over this one. But if you're looking to start out your kit, I would highly recommend it. It's just the formula of these aren't the best, but I really like how it has like matte shades and shimmery shades. I don't know, I really think BH did a really good job with this, so I would recommend it still. It's just not my favorite. I'm going to keep it just as another drugstore option for me, and I do use the snot out of it. So this is the Urban Decay and Gwen Stefani blush palette. I've used this a few times. I don't use it anymore just because I know you can't get it, but this is a really beautiful, beautiful blush palette. I kind of want to keep it because of the packaging, because I live for this packaging, and I feel like I could like showcase it in my room. So I may hang on to this one, and I do feel like it's a really gorgeous blush palette. I'm going to see if these are like permanent shades, because if they are, I could still use it. I would just have to specify the shade that I'm using. So I'm going to look into that. If not, I don't know. I'm going to hang on to it for now. because I do really like that palette. And then this next one is the Big Blush Book from Tarte. I've talked about this a ton on my channel. These usually come out like holiday time. Anytime that Tarte has a blush palette like this, I would highly recommend you get it. I paid, I think, $50 for this. Usually one of these blushes costs $30 or $28 or something crazy like that. So this came with 7 blushes and 1 highlighter. So you got a huge bang for your buck with this. I'm going to depot this though because I hate this packaging. It's so bulky and it's just like cheap ass like styrofoam packaging. But for the price of it, you're paying for the quality of the product. So I know you can't get this anymore, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these are available in the like permanent line. So I'm going to check on those ones. All the ones that are available in the permanent line, I'm going to hang on to. And then this is another Tarte blush palette. I need to check on these as well because if they don't have any of the permanent shades, I'm going to get rid of this because you guys can't get it anymore. But I noticed that these shades, they're all so similar though. That's the only thing. I feel like when you buy one blush palette from Tarte, that's all you need is one because you're never going to go through this amount of blush. Like, I solely give into the hype when I buy this stuff because it's holiday and I know it's going to sell out. So I'm like, why did I buy that? Why did I do that to myself when I already know that I have so many Tarte blushes already? So the last thing is going to be these Makeup Geek blushes. So I love these blushes. This one here is the one I use the most and I need to get rid of it because these are old as fuck. I feel like I'm going to get rid of probably all these, but this one, actually no, I think the other ones are okay. It's just this one here is doing something really funky. This is the shade Spellbound. I love the shade of this. I will definitely repurchase it. If you just, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see. If you guys look really close, let me try to get my focus on it. It's got like little, I don't know, it's got like texture throughout the pan. So I'm going to get rid of this one in particularly. I know that they have like damaged, I'm going to use that term loosely, they have damaged products from Makeup Geek that are on sale for like $5. These usually retail for $10 a piece. So if you've been eyeing those, I would look at those damaged products, loose quotes, because I've gotten the damaged products from them before and there was literally nothing wrong with them. Like there might have been like a smudge in the pan from just production. It wasn't because they're used. It was because in production they were either pressed incorrectly or something like that. So if you've been eyeing Makeup Geek products, look at their sales section right now because I would definitely recommend even buying damage from them because their products are so good. Like people don't talk about Makeup Geek anymore. I still love Makeup Geek. So let me just wipe this out really quick and then I will put all of my stuff that I'm keeping in here and then I will show you guys what I'm not keeping. I really want to get some organizers for these drawers. Leave in the comments some favorite ones that you guys have. That way I can, I don't know, I want to have some better organization for my blushes. Alright, so these are going to be all the blushes that I'm keeping. I didn't get rid of nearly as many as I thought I would, but now I'll show you guys all the ones that I'm going to get rid of. And then these are going to be all the ones that I'm getting rid of. So again, not as many as I expected to get rid of, but still a pretty good amount. Not horrible. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did like this video, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel before you guys leave. And I hope to see you guys in my next one. Peace!